Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm very glad you've stopped by. Because today, I'm going to show you how to beat that face. And I don't mean like a boxer would. I mean like a makeup artist would. Now you may be wondering why my eyes are done already. Why do I have this eye makeup on my eyes? Why does it look like they're complete and my complexion looks like crap? And if you did ask that, I would respond with, you must be new here. Because, quite frankly, I usually look odd, regardless of my current appearance. If you want to see how to beat your face like a pro, using the products that I love, and even some that I haven't tried yet that I might love, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, like I said in the intro, some of this stuff that I'm going to be using is stuff that you know that I've used. I've given you a review already, or I've given you my thoughts and opinions. Either way, I want to make sure that I show you from beginning to end how to get a completely beat face. Now, since a couple of these products are new, they will be my first impressions on how they work. So in a general sense, this is how you would do your makeup. This is how you would complete all of your steps for complexion products, using the same steps that I normally use with products I know, just with products I don't know. So this might go completely awry, and I might end up looking really bad in the end, but I might end up looking better than what I ever thought I would. So we'll find out. The first thing I'm going to use is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I actually won this in a giveaway, but you can get it at Ulta for $8. It's actually got a whole lot of skin benefits, and I think it's a really good product. It's very thick. It actually kind of reminds me of the Dermablend primer. It's like a sticky primer. It's just kind of like that thick, sticky, goopy priming situation. If you know it, you know it. Oh, and I didn't tell you yet, but it smells like watermelon and it's so fantastic. I personally love the smell of watermelon, just like I love the flavor of watermelon. Oh, a little tip for you guys as well. If you don't like applying sticky primers with your hand, you can actually use foundation brushes. Because I never use foundation brushes for foundation. I prefer buffing brushes for foundation. So I like to use these brushes for this instead, in those moments when I don't want my hands sticky, or like a luminizing primer or a liquid highlighter, all of the above, anything liquid. That just smells so good. All right. I feel extra hydrated now. I'm not gonna be thirsty for the next year. Now I do like to wait until this primer dries completely before I go in with anything else, because if I don't, this will just kind of slip and slide around because the top layer of it isn't dry yet. All right, now the next product I'm gonna go in with is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I have done a review on this product. This will not be a first impressions. If you would like to see this review, I will leave a link right up here if you'd like to go check that out. Completely up to you, no big deal if you don't want to. I'm just gonna go ahead and take 1, 2, 3 pumps on the back of my sponge and go to town. Now, I did do my brows already. I know, right? With the anticipation of not having any new brow products that I wanted to use. However, I also finished this eye look with the anticipation of not having a new eyeshadow palette to use. And I think I might have rubbed a bunch of the brow work off that I had done already. So I might have to touch those up again at some point. Speaking of this eye look though, this is actually an eye look from a collaboration with a lot of other people. And it is the Blush Tribe Paulina palette. I will also link that video right up there so you can go check that out if you want and see how I got this look. Now it's time for concealer. This one is new to me. This is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer in shade number 3. Now, I have tried their first concealer, I think it's their first anyway, where it has the little ring of clear stuff and then the ring of concealer on the inside. Wasn't really a fan of that, like at all. So I'm glad that they have this one now. I got this from Ulta and it was $22. And Ulta says, the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer is a multi-purpose, full coverage liquid concealer that hides it all, from dark under eye circles to blemishes and discoloration, yet it feels lightweight and doesn't cake, crack, or settle into fine lines. The formula includes algae-derived ingredients known for smoothing the look of skin and specially coated pigments that leave a natural finish that doesn't flake or crease. The cushion tip applies the long-wearing and waterproof formula evenly for blendable full coverage. Waterproof. Mighty strong claim for some concealer, huh? Oh, that is adorable! It's a little pencil. I love this. And it's the eraser side because it's a concealer, so you're erasing stuff. Aww. I see what they did, and I'm so happy they did it. Okay, let's see what shade 3 is like. Oh, the doe foot applicator is nice. It has the little, well, like they said, cushion tip, but it fits some extra product in there. That's exciting. Based on my foundation shade being a little dark, I'm afraid of this concealer right now because it's lighter, I think. So this might be bad. Now let's go ahead and get to work blending this out. Well, actually, I'm gonna get to work blending this out. You can just sit there and watch me do it. Okay, I'm definitely seeing this full coverage of which they speak. That is no doubt in my mind at all. Definitely full coverage. Gotta say, that looks really good on my under eye thus far. They said to go 1 to 2 shades lighter on my concealer so I could highlight. They had 5 shades, I picked the 3rd one. For the most part, the concealer is blended out, for the most part. Now, before I set this, I feel like I need to add a little bit of definition, and I'm gonna use a cream product to do that. So before I bring in any sort of powder, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my Huda Beauty Tantour. This is contour and bronzer cream by Huda Beauty. I have the shade Fair because my concealer told me to. This is not new for me either. I have used this quite a few times at this point. It's actually very nice. It is definitely one of my favorites. One thing I feel is important to mention if you maybe get Tantour based off of this is use it sparingly. It goes so far. If you spread it out from the point you apply it, it goes really, really far. Then I like to go in with the non-concealer side of my sponge. So concealer side, foundation side, non-concealer side, and use that to blend out the contour slash bronzer. Just helps it mush into the skin better, look a little more skin-like, and blend in with all the same tones that you have going on your face already. That way, if you happen to get too dark of a foundation shade and then too light of a concealer shade, and when you go in with your contour, it'll kind of help bring back some dimension to your face, and it'll mix with the shades in the sponge, and you can just use it to melt everything. It's a beautiful thing. Quick tip too, if you ever forget which side of the pointy side of the sponge that you used for contour or concealer, all you have to do is barely squeeze it and push it up against your arm, and you'll be able to tell if it's the dark shade or the light shade. Aha! Then if they're both the light shade, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Now I've got to hand it to this concealer. I can see what they mean by cakeless concealer. It definitely doesn't look cakey at all. Now, 2 more of my favorite items are also cream, so before we can set everything else, we need to go in with those. This is the Colourpop Blush Stick and Colourpop Light Stick. The blush stick is in the shade Mercy Me, and the light stick is in the shade Star Bright. This is blush and highlighter, and I've been really liking these lately just because it's such a easy application, and it looks so good. You can either do it by brush, or you can just dot it on your face directly. I kind of do both, depending on the mood and what I feel like. Today is just gonna be a dab, I think, and really get in there on that apple. Really circulate and bring it back. Okay, I like to pat this out with my finger because I don't want to pull all that pigment up with the sponge. However, once I do blend it out with my finger, then I will go in with the sponge right up front just to make sure it's really nice and blended. Oh, and see, that's so pretty. And let's really get in on that apple, get those rosy cheeks going. And then the same sort of concept with the light sticks, sorry. Except I only put this up on the highest point of the cheekbone, and on any days that I'm not doing any kind of eyeshadow, I'll pop this on the brow bone as well. I'll just use the side of it and just literally brush it on. And then that's the end. And I'll add just a little bit up here and a little bit over here. So right here and on the bridge of my nose. Perfect. I love this look. And then same thing, go with my finger, blend it out ever so gently. And then the highlighter, I don't normally go in and do any kind of pressing that one into the skin, because once we finish the powder, there should be plenty of diminishing the highlighter at that point. And that is it for the cream products. Now we get to move on to the setting powder. Finally. And for setting powder, this is a new one I've never tried. This is the Urban Decay The Ultimate Brush Off Set and Go Translucent Setting Powder. This is the shade Universal, so it should work for everyone. And this is $36 at Ulta. Speaking of, Ulta says, Urban Decay The Ultimate Brush Off is a finely milled vegan powder that blends seamlessly to extend the wear of your foundation without adding any weight or texture. Forget that old school cakey feel. It sets makeup while absorbing oil and shine for a totally blurred out effect, blending seamlessly without causing flashback, so you can take as many selfies as you want. Touch-ups on the go are easy thanks to the portable powder and its built-in cruelty-free brush. Say goodbye to spills. You'll be camera ready anytime, anywhere. Don't know what shade to pick? Try Ultimate Brush Off in Universal, a transparent powder that works with every skin tone. Okay, I'm excited. I think this is the thing that I was most excited about. I don't know why. The whole idea of having a powder brush in the component for a loose setting powder already is just phenomenal to me. Remove before use. Okay, duh. Like, I'm excited to use the setting powder. Now I know I'm not gonna be able to use this thing to set my under eyes. There's no, well, maybe that will reach under there. No, I won't be able to get the corner. So I'm gonna use a brush for that, but then I will use this thing to set the rest of my face. Oh, this comes off too. Oh, and it's just the loose powder open. Okay. So this is for me right now to do my under eyes, and then this will be for, this could be very messy very quickly. This will be for when I do my face. Okay, got it. There's a suggested use online, and it says use the applicator to place the product for a perfect bake. Then dust away the excess with a fluffy diffusing brush. For oily skin, apply shade Universal after skincare, but before makeup to absorb oil at surface level. Mix with a highlighter to add extra lit from within glow. Set eye primers with the Ultimate Brush Off for a super smooth canvas before applying shadows. Those were some useful tips actually. So I'm just making sure my concealer is crease free again before I go in with the setting powder. We don't want to set any creases. No matter how amazing the powder is, the more amazing the powder is, the worse off you're gonna be setting creases with it. Never set a crease, ever, ever. All right, going right into this powder. Oh wow, that's very blurring. Wow, that is really, really finely milled. Okay, gonna go ahead and leave that on my under eyes and on my nose, let that bake a little bit. Now let's see what this little brush in here is all about, shall we? So I'm not sure if you're like, I guess you have to shake it. Baby bottle pop, baby bottle pop. Oh, I guess that is right, because it leaves you like that. So let me try to bake my jaw. I ran out very quickly. Maybe I didn't get enough. I mean, it has the same amount. It can only pick up so much, I guess. Maybe I need to tap it on. Well, then I have little dots everywhere. Now, it said to bake. Let me read these instructions again. Use the applicator to place the product for a perfect bake. Then dust away the excess with a fluffy diffusing brush. Okay, so I guess it does say place, not drag, technically. So I just need to place. No dragging. Okay, I feel like this is gonna be more like a perfect for you after you leave the house sort of thing, like on the go when it's time for a touch up or when it's time to touch up. Just the big dense brush seems sort of useless right now. Let me see what it's like for all over setting the face. This one for me is a little meh, you know? I don't know. I feel like for as much as it is, it should be awesome on the go and at your vanity, if that makes sense. I feel like this is great if you are in the market for a powder and you're needing one. Give it a shot. It won't hurt anything. It's a good formula, it feels like. It's super fine. It definitely set my under eyes and it made them look really, really blurred. They look great. Just for practicality of the brush, the only time I can see that being good for me is if I'm on the go and need a touch up. That's really it. I'm gonna use a much fluffier brush to set my entire face rather than the smaller one, and it doesn't get enough powder on it whenever you put it in and like shake it or try to get powder on it. Doesn't get enough powder on it for you to be able to like really bake with it. I suppose you could take the purple part off and then bake with it. That would probably work. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Well, kind of. But then you can't get to your under eyes to be able to bake your under eyes. I don't know. For me, this one's just not it. On the go, yes. Practically, and at home, no. Not the brush anyway. I'm just gonna take the brush out whenever it's time to use it and use my own brushes. But this would make the whole on the go thing a lot easier and a lot less messy for touch-ups. Because loose powder for touch-ups is ridiculous. But typically I don't bring loose powder for touch-ups. I bring pressed powder. Huh. Yeah, that one's not for me. Sorry, Urban Decay. I love your like everything else. Now let's wipe away this bake and move on. Ooh, now see, this is perfect. I was getting ready to move on and I realized that I had like a little splotchy spot on the side where my concealer and my foundation didn't blend. So I blended it. Now I need some powder, but I don't want to get it all out on the brush again. So, yay, I found a use for it. Next, I now want to set everything in place, and I'm gonna do that with my Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Watermelon Spray. I absolutely love the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Primer Spray. Original, I use that all the time. Literally, I use it every time I do my makeup, before, during, and after, because it is a primer, refresher, and setting spray. But I had to get it in watermelon. This is my third bottle of the Hangover 3-in-1. I hope the watermelon isn't limited edition though, because I'm gonna need this forever and ever. Oh yeah. Oh, hello watermelon. Oh. Yes.
I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and nothing like it.
That is wonderful. So wonderful. Seriously, if you've never tried the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 Primer Spray, you need to try it. Especially in watermelon. I think they even made like a peach one or something. I think they do special scents whenever they come out with like their super secret special collections and stuff. Anyway, we are on to our final product, which is the Colourpop Lip Crayons. These are $7 per individual crown and $14 for every duo. I have 2 duos here and 1 individual, as you can see. I have Dragon My Heart, which contains The Strand and Treasure Island, because I love me some berry tones. I also have the Coconuts About You, oh, about you, which has Gimme S'more and Pink Cherry, because I love my nudie brown shades. And I got the single of Chubby Bunny, because it's a cute little pink and I like cute little pinks. So I'm gonna be wearing Gimme S'more at the end of it all, but I want to be super nice and give you guys swatches of each shade on these teeny tiny lips. So let's do that, shall we? I'm gonna start with the shade Treasure Island. Is this scented? It smells like berries of some kind. Ooh, I see why these are called Just a Tint. They have definite coverage and it's not just a wash of color, but it feels super soft and creamy and nourishing, really. It's a nice finish. Definitely not transfer resistant. It even feels like it's not gonna be transfer resistant, but it looks good. Now we have The Strand. Ooh, I thought I knew what shade I was gonna pick. I thought I was gonna end with Gimme S'more, but I like this. Next we've got Cherry Pickin'. This one's gonna be dark, I think. You can look at the bottle and see it's gonna be. That one's really pretty too. I just can't get over how good they feel. It's just like putting on a lip balm, and they smell and taste really good. Now it's the shade Chubby Bunny. Cute. The shade is just as cute as the shade name. And there is Chubby Bunny. And last but certainly not the one that I thought I was gonna pick from the very beginning, this one is the shade Gimme S'more. Gimme s'more, gimme s'more, gimme s'more. That one took a little bit more building up to really get the pigment payoff, but I think that's because it's such a nude. Like it blends in with my lip shade so well that it's just hard to see. Oh yeah, Gimme S'more is my kind of shade. And with those, that means we have reached the conclusatory statements. It's not a word, but I just made it a word. What it meant was, we're done. So how did you guys like the products that I used today? Do you have the products that I used? Do you want the products that I used? Did you get those products that I used and returned them? Did you really not like them that much? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you thought of this video. And if you like, you can also give me a thumbs up to let me know that you did like the video, if you did. Also, if you want to see this look and more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything, it's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye!